Remember, this entire manga and every manga on this channel is hand-drawn by myself, and now you too can learn exactly how to make your own viral Dragon Ball mangas at www.makemanga.com, where you can learn directly from me. My mangas have got me on TV, on newspapers, and even earned me over $60,000 a month on Patreon alone. And now, you can click the link in the description and pinned comment of this video and do it yourself. You only need to see the website to see just how many thousands of you are taking this opportunity right now. And don't forget also, the next video to this Ultra Vegito series has already been made and is live now on my Patreon right now for over 4,500 of you incredible fans to watch after this. Again, links are in the pinned comment and description. Enjoy.
So our story continues with the unexpected second coming of Trunks. His power and demeanor in a completely different place to where it ever was, as he would suddenly rise from the ground like the Undertaker, with colored electricity streaming from his eyes and body, as he would stare forward at Lucifer, the Omni Devil, like a man truly possessed. But by who? As Trunks would then stoically say with a fiendish voice, "You may not understand who I am yet, but you will hear my name someday, dear half-brother." But up above, a certain someone who also just made their shock appearance and return not too long ago would be near lost for words at what he would be seeing, and for many reasons, as with his arms folded, Lucifer Vegito would let out, "Is that Trunks? How long have I been down in the demon realm? I thought time moved differently. There's no way that's the kid I knew. No, is that the one from the future?" "What? Brother?" As Lucifer's first reaction would be one of more confusion, hearing that last word and muttering, "He's claiming to be my blood. This Saiyan from the future?" What a delusional fool! But though it would seem he'd take these words serious at first, almost immediately, Lucifer would burst out into an extreme laughter, even greater than just before his transformation, as he would completely put down Trunks' strange claims. "Oh, gain a little power, and before I can even compliment you, you spoil it all by saying something totally stupid. Reminding me, you are just a mindless mortal." As eccentrically, then placing his hand on his head, almost unable to look at Trunks anymore, he would peer through with one eye and continue, "Dear boy, I fear I have knocked your head one too many times. For this to be your final words truly saddens me. You, one who has not even graced the demon realm, question my devilhood, even thinking you're a devil. You're even more deluded than Vegito." But the possessed Trunks would not be impressed in the slightest, a visible annoyance on his expression as he would respond, still trailing an endless electricity, "Your first meeting with me, and you dare not claim me as your brother? You do know, children often remember their traumas. That will not be forgotten nor unpunished, dear Lucifer." Cute, but that is Lord Omni Devil to you.
as immediately spreading out his arms in a deity-like pose. With supreme confidence, he would declare,
I shall admit, whatever it is you are claiming to be, it has certainly increased your power level far beyond these twerps. I thought maybe my fun was already over, but seems I was wrong. And for that, I must reward you.
As with a smug smile, suddenly, energy and aura would begin to shoot from below, blurring his existence until... with a mighty roar of the first Omni Devil, in a flash of insane aura, like a rocket emission straight out of the planet's surface, Lucif would begin a tremendous power-up in energy. One surely that is overkill even with Trunks' newfound power. Impossible! Lucif! As the explosion of Aura's first victims would be the all nearby fallen Z-Fighters, who would all forcibly be flown off and cast aside by the Omni Devil's sheer power alone. With our sights being shown first, the Archangel hurtling backwards with no control before... With a fierce grip, he would be the first of the God Killers to maintain some composure, grabbing onto a deformed rock coming out of a nearby mountain. What is he doing? This is just like Frieza all over again. The final forms never end. As still battling the hurricane-level winds bustling towards him, he could only help but watch with pure terror at what he was sensing. So this is what I can expect from a so-called Omni Devil. As curiously, up in the sky, Vegito would be unaffected, unknown if because he was so far away, or just because of the warrior's own power. But with his arms folded, watching with pure fascination, the devil would comment, I don't think this is all he has. And to be fair, I shouldn't expect any less from His Majesty. But back on the ground, one other would also be unaffected, as a certain electrified leg would be seen. Enough! This is nothing compared to the true Devil G. As with his eyes locked on and glowing now, Trunks would begin to make some movement. As instantly getting into a fighting stance, completely foreign to Trunks, the overtaken Saiyan would calmly let out, I will show you, Lucif, what it truly means to go by the name Devil. But listening in closely, finally, Lucif Vegito would begin to get puzzled by Trunks' strange ramblings, whispering, Devil? Is he claiming to be me? Who is this Trunks? What the hell did he go through in his timeline now? Still completely with no idea, this Trunks would be his pseudo-twin, having never actually met him yet. But in a literal flash, the electrified Trunks would be on the move, ironically splitting into 5 bolts of fast-moving lightning in a move never before seen from the Saiyan.
What is this? All of these are...
Leaving the Omni Devil puzzled at the random overwhelming. But with no time to think, the attack would already be right in front of Lucif. But showing his dominance still, not even lightning itself could strike the Omni Devil, with Lucif perfectly raising his left leg, dodging the first bolt immediately. Dodging the next with a tilt of his head, looking down calmly at it as it would move past and then... until the final bolt, coming from the same direction the last left with, would be no bolt at all, instantly transforming into what looks like Trunks' leg. But despite its appearance, it would strangely immediately turn back to a normal bolt of lightning, coming down missing Lucif, but strangely, it wouldn't seem like Lucif had to dodge much at all. But soon, where the bolt would land would catch the Omni Devil's attention, with him beginning to peek down and... as the bolt landing right in front of Lucif would transform into a completely lightning-based Trunks, his arm already pulled back and within centimeters of the Omni Devil. Pushing full force forward to attack now, his arm spearheading until...
Call yourself my brother, but relying on petty tricks like this, even Dai could do better.
But unfortunately for the possessed Trunks, not even this would land. Come here! But it would seem there would in fact be more so-called tricks up the Saiyan's sleeve, as right next to Lucif's right leg now, the real Trunks would seemingly appear with his arms outreached ready to grab on.
Finally showing yourself, but this too is futile!
But with the Omni Devil's pretty omnipotent eyesight, he would detect this instantly. As with perfect control over his limbs, he would lift his leg up, away high, much to Trunks' surprise and... immediately launching it back down, but to slam on Trunks' face like crushing a mere worm. Sending the so-called real devil flying away. Before, with a scrape across the ground, the possessed Trunks would gain back control. Now, that's more like it. But on the chin of the Saiyan's face, only a smirk would be revealed, wiping away his blood as if enjoying the pain, and crucially adding, You know what? Now I can see how you could be Ronnie's son too.
What? How could he know of Mother?
This last line instantly taking Lucif by surprise, as claims aside, there truly could be no way the Saiyan Trunks could have known nor met Rani and lived to tell the tale. The comment leaving his eyes and mouth wide. As for a moment, there would be a deathly silence on the battlefield as Lucif and Trunks would just stare on at each other, as thunder would rage on in the background. Finally starting to believe me, aren't you? All the while Trunks' teeth would now bear in his enjoyment, with him adding, Words shouldn't be the only thing to convince you though, dear brother. Prepare yourself, as now I will take things up again. As like a spring-loaded arrow, Trunks would launch forward again, this time as his real physical self, his right arm clearly in motion. Attempting an uppercut point blank that would ultimately miss again. But when Lucif would respond, finally with an attack of his own, it would seem these interactions would not be unique, as this too would miss, effortlessly dodged with a jump from Trunks. But the jump would not be for nothing, as he would immediately transition into an upside-down bicycle kick, slamming his leg down, but the insane reflexes of Lucif would make history repeat itself, moving out of the way and...
Enough! Time to meet your grave!
With a giant grin, Lucif would pull back his black fist before... With an almighty punch, the very ground would explode in what looks like a controlled explosion, as Lucif would hold nothing back, literally burying Trunks beneath him. But things would not be so easy for the Omni Devil in reality, as far from 6 feet under, the instantly recognizable black arm of Trunks would then appear right above Lucif's now crouched body. His position frozen in place, with his own arm buried in the ground until... As finally, the possessed Trunks would land his attack, a swift and brutal elbow right on the back of the Omni Devil's neck, leading to a thunderous scream of pain.
Sneaky cockroach!
That's not how to talk to family, Lucif. As grumbling away, looking behind at Trunks, Lucif would bide his time until...
Be quiet!
Until he would return the favor twofold, backhanding his so-called half-brother right across the face. But with a swift return to form, Trunks, emanating his now signature lightning from all pores, would crouch on the ground, ready to continue. Peering in closer, we would notice the line of blood running from his chin. As cold as ever, he would let out, "You're lucky, Lucif. Lucky I have yet to grow into my powers yet. But truth be told, I'm surprised, even in my infancy, that you could even match me. That must be your father's genes."
What now? My father!
As Lucif, hearing this even from the distance, couldn't help but laugh, grinning as he would continue,
Of all the gibberish you have spouted so far, being my half-brother, being an infant just born recently, now you speak as if you know my father. Even I don't know that man, nor do I care. Whatever that electricity surrounding you is, it certainly has given you quite the imagination. Yes, I should join you.
as suddenly, Lucif on that strange proclamation would then begin summoning within his palm a mysterious ball of divine energy. Almost atom-like in appearance, the nuclear ball would seem like it would only grow until... Instantly, just as fast as it would form, the Omni Devil would crush it within his hand. A spray of multicolored lines of energy spraying out in all directions like a universe had just been shattered.
See? Lightning isn't only your thing, kid.
as sprouting from the destruction, a truly beautiful lightning of his own would emerge like roots of a tree from his hand, completely multicolored, just like the nuclear ball it came from. Its power would be clear to be on another level.
Now, shall we quit the back and forths and see how our powers really compare? My so-called brother.
And now expanding his palm, a dance of electricity would run all over the battlefield. But Trunks, staring forward, would respond confidently. I couldn't agree more. It's good to see you finally recognize who I am, even if sarcastically. As suddenly showcasing an element of Trunks still visible, the possessed Saiyan would throw up his arm into the air, and extending from it would be the God Killer's Godslayer blade. Witness the power of Rani's greatest child! As just like that, with no more to be spoken of, with pure excitement, the Omni Devil and mysterious Real Devil would rush in at each other head-on together, with a flash only meters apart, ready to show just who ruled the power scale at this very moment in time. Now within inches, there would seem to be no advantage on either side, just pure brute strength about to go on show, as Trunks' blade falls pinpoint for Lucif's magnificent fist. The result being a cataclysmic explosion of untold levels, the planet itself just about able to contain its vacuum of power, rising as fast as its creators had just impacted. And up above, as the domed explosion would now rise into a swirling vortex of power into the sky, Lucif Vegito would be stunned even from behind. Trunks! This can't be him! What is he talking about? Rani! Her child! There's no way! And on Vegito's face, the shock would not be passing, as with goosebumps all over his body, he would begin to suspect what he thought was impossible. But as the explosion would roar through the planet, another would be witnessing in disbelief as well. Struggling to not be pushed back, a purple-haired small boy would be seen. Whoa! That's really me! As Kid Trunks, saved by Vegeta earlier, would remain hiding, but with utter awe on his expression, watching himself from the future go far beyond his wildest dreams. But as the destruction would finally end, standing at the center would be Lucif and Trunks, neither damaged at all. Their powers seemingly have perfectly cancelled each other's out.
How unexpected. I knew you were stronger, but you are insane. You have matched my power even as the supreme ruler of both the mortal and demon realm. Tell me, you're obviously using this poor Saiyan as your vessel. So take over already and tell me your name.
But Trunks, with his red and cyan eyes continuing to seep out lightning, would respond, As I said, now is not the time. I have not ripened just enough. So no names will be necessary. Hopefully, you survived the battle with Vegito to find out. But my father is no slouch. But before anything could be thought of from that blockbuster outburst of information, Trunks would immediately shuffle his feet and instantly begin flipping backwards right at Lucif's face. Before not just escaping to create distance, but perfectly slamming his leg under Lucif's chin, just as he would do so, flipping all the way back and landing elegantly. Yes, I'm afraid you still have a long way to go before you can claim victory, dear Lucif. After all, I'm not even the only fighter left. As having said this, slowly, Trunks would begin turning his head until... Isn't that right, you three? Are you just going to watch? Or will you even attempt to help save your lands? As turning his head around 180 degrees like a zombified freak with a crazed smile, the possessed Saiyan would address all three of the God Killers. Is he talking to us? As Vegeta would be the first to notice, with his so-called son replying, Yes, you three cowards! What? As feeling well and truly put in their place, as they realize that in fact they are just being bystanders in the most important battle of their lives, all three God Killers would be left short for words, knowing now would be the time to re-enter the battle alongside this strange new Trunks. But while this would all be taking place, they would be nothing more than a show somewhere else entirely, as within a crystal ball, three elder gods would stand in careful watch: Zeus, Hades, and Ares. As with a visible tension on his face, Zeus, at the head of the table and with his oversized presence, would let out, What in the heavens is going on here? So, the one known as Lucif has gone through with his plans. He has merged the realms and gained the power of an Omni devil. But now, one even stronger has emerged! The boy that Konoha allowed to travel through time! As suddenly then turning his head, Zeus would exclaim, What is going on? Where even are the others? Do they not remember what we spoke of? Hey, don't look at me! I'm here! As a scared out of his life Elder God Hades would comedically react, not wanting to be the butt of the blame in any way. As now calmed down, he would then explain to the white-bearded god, Well, if you really want to know, they've all kind of taken it easy. They were worried at first, but then they found out about Poseidon. As usual, that slippery guy was too lazy to want to fight himself, so he recruited his own warrior, one from his own multiverse, Kratos. Now, the others want to do the same. It's all a game now, of who can provide the greatest warrior of their creation. It's like they want to host some kind of tournament once this is all said and done. As behind the Elder God, we would get a sneak peek at the horrid treatment the captured God Killer would be receiving. My own bastard son, huh? Typical Poseidon. Leaving Zeus to grunt away before continuing. Do they not know? None of their warriors can even stand a chance. Do they not realize why we called the meeting of the elder gods in the first place? Fools, the lot of them. But curiously, Ares, the other bearded man, would have a different point of view, as he would let out, "Calm down, old friend. Yes, the realms have been merged, and this Lucifer has somewhat become formidable. But his power is nowhere near as great as we thought it was, is it? Young Hades here would make short work of him if he wanted to. But furthermore, this other mere mortal now is giving him a run for his money. And that Vegito we also feared, he seems to be his slave. I do believe, just as I had said since the beginning, all wrongs will eventually right themselves in the balance of power. Nothing has changed, Zeus." And with that, Elder God Zeus would then look up in deep thought, finally succumbing to the words of Ares, saying, "I cannot fault that logic, Ares. Perhaps I completely blew this situation out of proportion. When Castiel first showed me, the possibilities seemed too dire. I fear my old age has made me too anxious. I must do my best, while Akobel still remains far from ready to be my successor. Where even is he? Also finding a warrior?" As Hades would just respond cocksure, "Him? No way. That's not his style. He's probably with Castiel as usual." As from that, the scene would then swiftly move to an Earth-like planet, with the winds far stronger than normal, and in the sky, a lone figure with his back turned would be seen, and it would seem like someone we had seen before. As talk of the devil, the figure would be Elder God and Archangel Castiel, scratching his head as if stumped for ideas, as he would whisper, "Now, where exactly am I going to find the strongest fighter again? I must say, I haven't been monitoring things." I know! As suddenly, Castiel in all his wisdom would immediately have a light bulb moment, lifting his finger into the air before vanishing completely into thin air, arriving succinctly in front of a strange palace, one recognizable to many who watched Dragon Ball Super. As when we would see Castiel again, he would think, "Of course, who could be stronger than the Omni King himself? I'm not an idiot like Hera to place a child at the throne. I must have created someone better. At the very least, he should know where the strongest would be. Oh, Omni King! Come out wherever you are!" As immediately placing his hands to his mouth to create a makeshift megaphone, Castiel would then yell out for the unnamed king of all. And almost instantly, behind him, through a white portal interestingly, a foot would begin to emerge. Oh, there you are! You are... As catching his attention now, the Elder God would begin turning around and... Oh my! I was right! I knew I would find you. Someone just as interesting as that Lucifer. or Vegito. Welcome, Elder God. As unbelievably, in this shock revelation, Castiel's alternate multiverse would have none other than Omni King Vegito as its ruler. His royal divine garbs fitting perfectly on his muscular frame, as sporting the same black patara as our Vegito, his face would appear far less like one that had seen decades of tragedy. His hair a flowing white even in base, yet finally, with white seraphim eyes. The story of Ultra Vegito just took a new turn.
But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag OmniKing in the comments down below and let me know just what power this version of Vegito possesses. Or just find out what happens right now on my Patreon, where you can see the full next video, fully voice acted, soundtracked and edited for you to enjoy with over 4,500 plus other fans, as well as getting access to 250 plus other fan mangas too. It's the deal of the century.